All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining our first ever Symphony community call. This will be the first of many, and we're so excited for those of you that were able to join today, and also the folks that will be reviewing this recording later on. This is, like I said, the first of many, and this is the December 2024 community call. Haishi, can you go to the next slide, please? So, a little bit more about these community calls and why we're doing it. This call is for you. Our goal here is we want you to be able to see the latest demos and progress that Symphony has to offer, as well as get updates on upcoming releases and other things that might be occurring in the near future. This is also a perfect opportunity for y'all to ask any questions and share feedback that you might have for Project Symphony. These community calls are not just meant to be something that we're talking at y'all. We want you to talk back at us, right? So uh, feel free to raise your hands in the chat, or if there's anything that you want to speak up about, that would be great. Um, in terms of community involvement, outside of these community calls, we want to make sure that y'all are a part of our Symphony OSS Google group. I will share the link in the chat shortly. And also, please join our Discord. It's a place for informal communication. You'll be able to connect with our engineering team, Haishi, our lead architect, and also the rest of the product group. And also, more importantly, the rest of the community to help solve each other's issues much more quickly. What's really cool is starting January, we will be launching our weekly office hours. This will also be on the Discord. It will be a one of the rooms on the Discord that you'll be able to join, and it'll be weekly from 8 to 9 a.m. PST on Wednesdays. In addition to all of this, we've also have our Symphony YouTube channel where we will continue to post our community calls, or some of our demos and scenarios that we've presented at various in-person experiences. But I think Haishi also wanted to share something new that we've also launched with Symphony Unscripted. Haishi, do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, Symphony Unscripted is basically just me sitting down to talk about random topics on Symphony. I've recorded a couple of episodes, and I think I will record more. But the idea is to for you to bring up the topics of your interest. Then we'll just talk about on the channel.
Yeah, and I also heard that most of these videos will be shot all across the world. So hopefully we'll be able to see where Haishi travels to next and where these videos will be shot at. Um,
Yeah, you invite me to your hometown.
yeah, exactly. Uh, so for today's community call, there's a couple of things that we wanted to discuss. Some very exciting developments. Over the past few months, Symphony has been very active in going to various conferences to show off all the cool stuff that Project Symphony can do, and more importantly, how we've been able to partner with leaders in the industry, and how Symphony has really become its own kind of mainstay in a lot of these conversations. So we will touch on some of these topics as well. In addition to that, there was a major release that did occur, and Haishi will be covering a little bit more about that, and especially some of the upcoming roadmap updates that we can share as well. And a little treat for y'all as well is we have two demos that we want to go over today, which will be the truck fleet management scenario and also a retail scenario, which will also serve as our getting started scenario for folks that are new to Symphony. If we do have time at the end, we'd love to open up the floor for open Q&A. And yeah, we'll jump right into it with Haishi and the release notes.
Yeah, thank you, Harry. So basically, we are trying to enter a monthly release cadence. The current latest release is 48.32. So in this release, we mostly worked on the stability and performance improvements of Symfony, and our developer team is here. Thank you very much for all the contributions. Actually, not only to our own developers, but also to the contributors from different companies as well. And in upcoming releases, we'll be refreshing the remote agent to make the remote agent more robust. And we are also planning to add like cloud resource support so that we can manage hybrid scenarios. The Symphony is a Eclipse open source project, and everything we do is in the open. You can see all the issues, all the pull requests, and you're welcome to make contributions to us. And I think I will hand it to Charlie to talk about OCX a little bit.
Yes, so we were really excited to go to OCX. OCX is one of the bigger, or it's the biggest conference of Eclipse Foundation. For this year, they combined the Java conference together with the SDV conference and also the general Eclipse open source conference into one event. And for this year, we had both our own booth that we shared together with LGE and Red Hat at OCX. And we had exciting announcements together with Red Hat where we presented Project Symphony running on OpenShift, which really enables the OpenShift community to also start to use Symphony within their solution designs. We also had a hands-on demo including cloud-to-edge orchestration and in-vehicle scenarios with LGE. And you can click this link to see more about their project that we partnered with, which is an in-vehicle orchestrator. So Symphony helped orchestrate from the cloud to the edge, in this case, the vehicle. And then Eclipse Pulpery did the in-vehicle orchestration. We also had a few sessions. Haishi did a really great session around AI and showing how you can use AI in scenarios for toolchain orchestration, and had a demo even on how to use this with Symphony. And we concluded quite a few customer meetings. We were almost surprised by the interest in Project Symphony, but I think it really states the points that we have a lot of interest both from the SDV community, but also from the broader community around solution orchestration. And when customers start to adopt cloud native stacks, the big variety of different projects that they need to integrate really talks to the need to have an orchestrator of orchestrator services. And that drew a lot of interest for Project Symphony. Aishi, anything you would like to add to that?
No, you covered it well. The only thing is that we are in the process of merging LGE's provider into Symphony, so that soon the Eclipse Pupil will be natively supported by Symphony.
And if you are interested to collaborate with Symphony, or if you have interesting demos that you would like us to showcase, both as events or in these upcoming community calls, please reach out either to Hari or to me or to Haishi. We are happy to collaborate with you, and we really want to use these events and event community calls to show the innovation that is happening in the Symphony community.
Definitely. All right, I think I will continue to cover our engagement with SDV Hackathon 2024. This just happened, I think, last month. This is one of the SDV hackathons sponsored by Harman. We have 12 participating teams, and we had 6 challenges in the hackathon. And the Symphony brought a challenge called Maestro Challenge. Essentially, we want to bring this cloud native practice into the SDV community, trying to explore how we can manage a fleet of cars using Symphony, and also in collaboration with other in-car orchestrators. So I was serving as one of the hack coaches. It was great fun to work with all the teams. And we have a bunch of video recordings on our Symphony channel. You can see our thinkings and scenarios, and you're welcome to check it out on our Symphony channel. And thinking of that, we have a scenario of a truck fleet management. So basically, we are envisioning a workflow, a automated workflow on a field office that manages a fleet of truck. So basically, when the truck pulls up at the office, we want to register the truck to that office, and we want to verify the driver condition. We want to see if the driver has been driving for too long. And if the driver appears to be tired, we will notify the manager saying, hey, if the driver is driving too much, maybe you want to switch to a different driver. And then the truck is brought to a pumping station for fueling. And then after the truck is refueled, we will download the newest maps and the route plans and what have you for the truck. So the truck is ready for the next journey. I think in the demo session, we will see this scenario or work from end to end. And I guess I'll just keep going forward. And so today we also are going to demo the retail scenario where we demonstrate a multi-OS deployment, which really shows the unique value of Symphony. Basically, we have a retail application that spans across Windows and Kubernetes. And so we have front end as a Windows application. We have backend as a bundle of containers. We also have ingress and databases we want to set up. And in this case, we'll be running Symphony on Kubernetes, and we will have a remote agent running on Windows. And we will use MQTT broker to communicate between the agent and the control plane so that we can coordinate deployment on multiple operating systems. I think I messed up. I should have gone into the demo before I go into the retail scenario. So let's just jump into the demo. Let me stop this presentation and switch to my browsers. Okay. So here's my environment, right? Basically, I have the Symphony Opera portal. So this is one of our portal sample portals we provide in our repository, just to demonstrate what can be done through the Symphony API. So this is also open source. You're welcome to check it out. In this case, I've provisioned a bunch of targets which represent different trucks that are already docked at the field office. And to the left, I have this fuel pump application that's waiting a truck to show up to getting refueled. And also, I have this surveillance camera simulating a camera feed. Basically, we are deploying a computer vision system. We are waiting for a truck to pull up at the station. So now I'm going to drive my truck here, and you can see the truck pull up. I mean, I have a different truck, but I give it to one of the SDV hackers because he has a little boy. So now I'm
There's nothing
using
wrong with
my
that truck, Kaisha. It's a beautiful truck.
so I'm using my Optimus Prime for this demo. So basically, if you monitor the frame and see if there's a truck has been parked, then it should be sending a request to activate our workflow. I think this will take a moment. Let me see. It's not recognizing the truck. Hold on. No, I think it got a pretty good look at it. Let's hope it will show up. So basically, what is supposed to happen is that once this truck is detected, we are going to check on the driver status. And now you can see actually this truck is appearing on the pumping station. Let me see if it's registered as the target. Yeah, the truck is here. The fuel level is low. Now I'm waiting for an email. I have to launch my email client. I hope I'm not going to show you my other emails. So I'm bringing it on a different window. Okay, I just got this email notification. Yeah, bring that to this window. So you can see we got this email. This is just a while ago. It says, oh, the driver Mike is driving for more than 10 hours. He's too tired. Probably you should do something else. And now the truck, oh, sorry. So now the truck is here. We are ready to refuel this truck. So we'll just say we're going to start to refuel the truck. Basically, we're just simulating the refueling of the truck, of course. And there's a delay of how this information is reflected on the portal, but eventually you should be able to see the truck getting refueled. And once see now the truck is totally refueled, and once this truck is refueled, it will leave the station. So this whole workflow finishes. So if I bring up the other window, sorry, if I do kubectl get activation. So basically, what you can see is that when the truck pulls up, the computer vision detects the truck, then basically it calls into Symphony to activate this workflow. So you can do really interesting scenarios. Once this truck is pulled up, you can run your complex workflow. And if I bring up this workflow scenario, truck fleet. By the way, everything is on the repository, so that you can just check it out and then run this yourself. So the workflow is this docking workflow. So basically, when the truck pulls up, we will register the truck, then we will essentially call a logic app to send email notifications, and then we will connect to the fuel pump application. Then we'll start to the fuel process. Then we will also report the fueling status back to the Symphony target, and eventually the truck is undocked from the station. So as you can see, not only we can trigger our own activities, we can also integrate with other workflow engines so that you can really run very sophisticated workflow. And we are an orchestrator, right? We don't want you to rewrite everything in Symfony. In this case, if you do have a workflow with, let's say, logic apps, then you're welcome to keep using that, and we will integrate that into our workflow. So that's the truck fleet management scenario. I guess I will go to the retail scenario. But before I do that, let me just bring up this retail scenario just to reiterate on the scenario. So basically, in case you're not familiar, right? Symfony is a toolchain orchestrator. We aim to bridge the gap across multiple toolchains. Let's say when you manage a system, or if you have some kind of workflow that spans multiple toolchains, that's where we think we can contribute our value. And we provide key functionalities such as state seeking. and workflow and information graph. And that allows us to cover a broad spectrum of edge management scenarios. Let's take deployment as an example, right? Let's say if you have a system, uh, let's say you're using Kubernetes and using Helm chart to deploy a system. That's perfect fine, right? In that case, there's no reason to use Symfony. But let's say if you have also some other parts of the system, for instance, if you have a binary that you want to run on the ECU, or if you want to have an Android app as a front end or a Windows application you want to deploy, the current toolchains really give you that capability to do that cross-environment deployment. But what Symfony allows you to do is actually to define your application in its entirety as one solution. And then we will do the deployment and we will match up different components with the required capabilities. Because you can annotate, say, my front end is running on Windows, my back end is running on Kubernetes. And when you do the deployment, Symfony will actually look at the targets and say, okay, this part goes to the Windows, this part to go to the Linux. And because it has all the contexts of all the toolchains, it can do the proper configurations, so your front end is properly connected to the back end. So in this case, what we are going to demo is a retail scenario. Basically, we have a kiosk machine that the user can use to order food, and we have a backend, we have database. So it's a full n-tiered application that we want to deploy. So before I do the deployment, let me just show you the application, how the application looks like. So in Symfony, we use a solution to describe your software. So in this case, we have three components in this solution. First is the front end. So basically, this is just a Windows UWP application bundle. And we have a database, which is MySQL in this case. And we also have a backend, which is packaged as another container. So as you can see, this is a distributed application, right? We want to have this component deployed onto a Windows machine, and we want the backend to be deployed on Kubernetes. And we have two targets defined. One is this Kubernetes target. So basically, that's the one of the deployment target we manage. And the other is a Windows target. So this is a Windows machine. I'm going to use my own laptop in this case. And you can see for this Windows target, we are actually configuring MQTT connection. So basically, our agent, when you launch on the remote machine, you have different options to connect the control plane. In this case, we are using an MQTT broker. So in this case, the agent only needs one outbound connection into the control plane. So this really simplifies the requirement on the network, especially on the firewall settings, so that you can run the agent on the remote machine. So I think I already have the agent provisioned. Let me just launch the scenario. Okay, if I do kubectl get target. And by the way, because Symfony works natively on Kubernetes, right? So you can use all the Kubernetes tools, such as kubectl or Helm chart, to interact with Symfony. But Symfony also runs as an independent REST API as well. So if in a particular hosting environment, you want to host the Symfony process as an independent process or as a daemon or a service, you can do that as well. So in this case, you should see I have my Kubernetes target as well as my Windows target registered. And I already have my solutions defined. So that's my retail solution that I just showed you. Let me go to the right folder. So now I'm ready to deploy the instance. Let me just show you the instance. So the instance in this case is very simple, right? Basically, the instance defines a mapping from the software to hardware. Basically, I'm saying I'm taking this software, I'm deploying to a group of hardware where it's tagged with this retail scenario. So that's what we're going to do. But before we do that, let's see what we currently have. If I do get services, you can see I have some services. That's the fuel pump service from the station we just see. And there's a mosquito, that's our broker. And we have our portal and a bunch of Symphony services. But you can see I don't have my database and I don't have my backend running, right? In this case. And if on this machine, if I search for Contoso, that's how we call this fictional company. You can see I can't find anything Contoso on this machine. So I'm going to apply this instance. And then I will monitor the service. So basically now the Symphony is trying to coordinate this multi-OS deployment. I will try to push the Docker containers onto this Kubernetes cluster, and then I will install this Windows application onto the Windows machine. And you can also define these cross dependencies. Let's say your database has to be provisioned before your backend, and the backend has to be provisioned before you deploy the frontend. You can actually define those cross-system dependencies. And as you can see, Symfony has provisioned the database and the retail backend is there. So Symfony will actually make sure those dependencies are honored across the tool chains. And if I look at the Contoso, you can see this Contoso app. Sure, it's being installed on my machine. I just bring to a different window. So this is just a Windows application. I think you can add something and place the order, things like that. So everything is working, and you can see the Symfony is making sure that your front end is properly configured with the backend, and everything is launched in order and configured properly. So that's the two scenarios I want to show. Actually, I think that's all the content we have for this meeting. Um, um, Let me bring back the right screen. I hope you enjoy the demos, and I hope you get a glimpse of what we are trying to do and what the community is trying to contribute. And I think I will hand it back to Harry to wrap this up.
Yeah, hey, these demos were great, and as Haishi and I mentioned in the beginning, you will be able to have access to especially the retail scenario very very shortly on our repository, which will be sent out very very soon. But to keep up to make sure that you're kept up with all the updates regarding all these things and more, make sure to engage with us on the Discord, and also just as important, join us on the Google group for a newsletter once a month and a couple emails here and there throughout the month to stay updated on Project Symphony open source. But with that, I do appreciate y'all joining, and please have a great rest of your day.
Right? Thank you.